Now please recognize the gentlelady from Michigan, Ms. McDonald Rivet, for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and for the members that are here to testifying, thanks for hanging in. It's been a long morning. So my colleagues on the other side of the aisle have said that can we all agree that we're here to make a better America? Yes, agree. Can we all agree that there is dignity in work and it is important for every person? Yes, agree. But what we're talking about right now is food. And we are also doing this within a context that is really hard. And I just want to talk about that for a moment, because right now in my state, we have up close to 20% of our children are food insecure. And, you know, which is a Washington word, but what that really means is on a daily basis, 20% of our kids are wondering where their next meal is coming from. At the same time, we have seen cuts to the operational grants to our food banks. We have had food delivery in our communities halted, a $1 billion cut to the school food program, and now we're looking at $220 billion of cuts to SNAP. Now, I know that this hearing is talking about expanding opportunity through SNAP, through the power of work. Great. But it feels more like a smokescreen to hide this erosion of access to food for people who really, really need it. And I, as the mother of 6, think first about our kids. And it seems to me that we are in a place right now as a country that we have to think about whether or not a better America includes a tolerance for hungry children. Because that's what this is actually about. What is the percentage of America's kids who are okay being hungry? Is that number 20% where we sit now? Do we up that number to 25%? Do we lower it? Because I can tell you, for me, in one of the strongest, richest countries in the world, that number needs to be 0. And we are not moving in that direction. So the thing that I wanted to be able to talk about and ask, not just about SNAP, but in the context of all of these cuts, right? All of these things that are eroding access to food in our communities, what we think that means for the economic trajectory of the country, what we think that means for educational outcomes, when we have a point in this country right now where we are graduating kids from our public schools that cannot do basic math. And if we take kids' food access away, whether it's through the school lunch programs, whether it's through double-up food bucks, whether it's through all of these programs, what is it we think we're gonna get as an outcome when it relates to our kids? So I'm gonna murder your name, Dr. Schonsbach. Sorry. I'm wondering if you can just talk about your work and your research about the impact of hunger on kids and what you see in terms of long-term outcomes when, if we implement a $230 billion cut to SNAP, inevitably happens down the road.
Yeah, so we know that it's not even, the most severe version of hunger, but food insecurity and economic insecurity, more broadly than that, harms children. It harms them, especially when they're at the youngest ages, when they're in the midst of brain development, but it continues to harm them, across time as they're, in school, maybe not able to learn as well as they could because either, they're stressed out at home or they are hungry, etc. I want to point out to you that this is especially acute during economic downturns. If we fail to protect children, especially at some of these critical ages, essentially we do such damage that we cannot make up for that at scale. We will see, things like permanently lower, educational outcomes, GDP growth, et cetera, because we're not investing in kids and their ability to build skills.
And when you're looking at areas that have high concentrations of poverty, there are cities in my district that have child poverty above 50%, above 60, 70%. What does that do when you add food insecurity on top of that?
Right, it's multiplicative. when you're talking about concentrating so many people in an area.
Thank you. I yield back.